Welcome back to another video. This is the last time I'm going to make a video about this guy. And he hasn't done anything wrong as of recent. And we're going to talk about it. Declan Rice. I should have made this video like a week after he left. But it's becoming more of a topic because when it shouldn't be. And the reason why I say that is because we've got new players now. We're a new team, and it's better than I thought it would be. And when I say it's better than I thought it would be, it's West Ham don't replace well. We replaced, like, for example, Dimitri Payet, probably one of the most iconic West Ham Premier League players as of recent times. We replaced him with Robert Snodgrass. Now, I know a lot of people like Snodgrass for what he does off the pitch, but on the pitch, it wasn't that good. So when I look at things and I see Declan Rice getting credit now, after the Arsenal goal, I'm seeing people like Peter Crouch tweet. I'm seeing all these publications tweet that never really talked about Declan Rice until he left West Ham. And I think we could all expect that because they didn't believe in us, as DJ Khaled would say. They didn't believe in us. They didn't believe that we knew how good he was. And you know what Arsenal fans are like. They're saying that they robbed us now after saying all summer that we robbed them for 100 million and why they're charging 100 million just because they wanted to get their man. And we actually live in their heads rent free, believe it or not. So let's get to the main topic at hand. I've seen Colton Cole on the Happy Hour podcast by Jackmate talk about this. I've seen plenty of people talk about this. I know people that think he's a legend, and I know people that don't think he's a legend. And my opinion was that, can I even say he's a legend as someone who never saw Billy Bonds and never saw Bobby Moore live in the flesh? But then again, I also think Mikeytimmo is an actual legend. And the reason why, let me put it out there. Mikeytimmo has not only played for the club longer, he's not only just our top goal scorer. Obviously, he's now won a trophy, and I would happily put him in that bracket for me as a legend. And he's done so much for the club. He dragged us out of so many big situations, and he was a big game player for us. Declan Rice was also a big game player. But here's what I'm going to say. Now that I've assessed it, I'm going to say he's not a legend. But I also don't think he's a snake either. And I'm going to explain both sides of the story. Here's what I'm going to say. Declan Rice is not a legend because I feel like there's certain criteria you have to do to be a legend. Like, I don't think Joe Cole, like, we all love Joe Cole, but Joe Cole isn't a West Ham legend. Like, let's keep it real, he's not. But I also don't get the argument of battering Declan Rice because he went to Arsenal as a London rival. Now, not only do West Ham and Arsenal, there's only a small minority of fans that actually care about beating the other team, in my opinion, because when I go to West Ham games, and fair, I haven't been to the last two West Ham Arsenal games, but we always get up for the Chelseas and the Tottenhams. And obviously, if we was to face Millwall, we'd get up for the Millwalls. And then, after that, you're probably looking at Man United as the other game we get up for. And that's it. On away days, West Ham and Arsenal don't even chant about each other, so it's just a London rival. So do you guys hate Issa Diop for going to Fulham? Like, I know a lot of people use the argument that we battered Frank Lampard and Scott Parker for it, but people like Joe Cole, he also went to Chelsea, who's an actual, like, proper rivalry there. Not as in table positions and all that, even though they were shit last year. But in just terms of, they've chanted about each other for a long time, and back in the day, it was close. In the 80s and 90s. Well, early 90s. And we still like Joe Cole. He came back We don't like Frank Lampard. I didn't like Scott Parker, but I understand. But after doing research into the reason why he moved to Tottenham, I get it. A lot of people used to hate Jermaine Defoe. I don't think even people really care about Jermaine Defoe anymore. They don't really hate Jermaine Defoe. You don't hate. I don't know any West Ham fan that hates Michael Carrick, either. To be honest, if Declan Rice went to Chelsea, I would hate him straight up. And the reason why I say that is because of the more closeness of a rivalry between West Ham and Chelsea than there is West Ham Arsenal. And if you know the history, you know the history, like kind of thing. I don't care if he was a Chelsea fan. I would still not like it. It would hurt more if he was in a Chelsea shirt. The reason why it doesn't hurt more that is in an Arsenal shirt, because as much as I hate Arsenal, we're not rivals like that. We're not. There's never been. The only thing I can differentiate with, not differentiate. I don't know what the word is that I can say where West Ham and Arsenal fans really hated each other was just the Martin Keown, Paulo Di Canio days, or the 1980 Cup final. I don't know whether the older fans care about Trevor Brooking, or I don't know whether Arsenal fans hate Trevor Brooking or something like that. I can't think. There's never really been like. There's only been like a small amount of hatred between the two clubs, and it's not like that was a rivalry, is it? But he's not a legend because he hasn't had his peak of his career at West Ham United or dedicated his whole career to West Ham. Not your whole career, but a good chunk of your career to West Ham United, like Mikel Antonio has. Who else is a legend? Let's be honest. If Jared Bowen could become a West Ham legend by the time he ends his career, if he might not retire here, but because he might just go to a lower league club when he's older, but he'll probably sign a new contract and hopefully have more memories with Jared Bowen and he'll become a cult hero. Cole was trying to play it down like he isn't a cult hero at least. And some people would debate legend because of the whole playoff final and stuff like that. It depends what you class as a legend. Legends are at West Ham. Like, it's difficult because I think if you become a top goal scorer for West Ham United, like as in my club, you can become a West Ham legend. That's why I put Mikel Antonio up there. I also think in hard times he's dragged us so many times, and this was when playing in all kinds of positions where he didn't really want to play right back, but he filled in at right back, and I just think he deserves the credit. And like when it comes to match going fans, they all love Mikel Antonio as well, like chanting his name all the time. That Antonio, that hits like that's the loudest chant probably at West Ham. And apparently West Ham fans were celebrating a Declan Rice goal. Well, some of them on Twitter anyway, like these Twitter lot. But then again, when I look up Declan Rice on Twitter, I just see more people complaining about the fact that people are celebrating a goal. And if it's true, if you are celebrating Declan Rice scoring for another team, please get over yourself. He's left our club. And that's my opinion on it. Like, I don't think he's a snake. Because, and I'll explain this by more, he never even handed in a transfer request at the club. He never refused to train. And his head wasn't gone, as they say, like, when playing a game for West Ham United. I'll appreciate him for what he's done for the club, but I will not root for him. I will not root for you to do well at Arsenal because I don't like Arsenal. I don't really care about the whole thing, but I was just giving my opinion on it because, well, I don't have another fucking video to make. It's international break and there's nothing else to talk about. And I should have made this video about 3 weeks ago, as I've already said. And I hope people understand because I legit don't give a shit about this situation where I say I don't hate the guy. I don't hate him, but I'm not going to root for him. I appreciate everything you've done for the club. Thank you for the Conference League win. Thank you for the relegation survivals. Thank you for the Europa League memories and stuff like that. But I don't have to root for the guy. He's a very likable guy. We all know this. And yeah, when it comes to giving him a clap or a boo if when he comes to London Stadium. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna sit there. I'm not gonna boo. I'm not gonna clap. I will never clap a player that plays for Arsenal anyway, because I don't like Arsenal. Same with Man United, Chelsea, Tottenham, all these teams I don't like. Thing is, if we're doing the whole London rival thing as well, do you guys hate Checo Kouyaté? Do you guys hate James Tompkins? Everyone loves Tompkins. Well, then again, a lot of people don't like Kouyaté because of his last year at West Ham United, but it is weird, isn't it? And there's a lot of players that have moved to London rivals that are not actually our proper rivals, like the Fulhams as well, and the Crystal Palaces, and Charlton as well. Do you guys hate Paolo Di Canio? He went to Charlton. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can't use the London argument. We can't. Just my opinion. If you want to use the Chelsea and Tottenham argument, I get it, because we actually get up for the Chelsea-Tottenham games. And we don't seem to like Chelsea and Tottenham as a club. And the first team I hated growing up was Chelsea because one of my first games was West Ham Chelsea, and it was a big game, and I was told as a 7-year-old it's a big game under the Avram Grant season, and we lost 3-1. And then it was West Ham Millwall. I went to the West Ham Millwall championship game. A part of the ground was empty because of the police and all that stuff, and then I went to a West Ham Tottenham game. I'm pretty sure the first West Ham Tottenham game I went to was the fucking Gareth Bale goal when he scored right at the end. If that is the 13-14 season one, I'm pretty sure it is, because Gary O'Neill was playing for West Ham. Should have closed Gareth Bale down on the day. But yeah, that's my opinion. If you guys disagree, if you think he's a legend, a snake, whatever, make sure to leave it in the comments below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Social medias are in the description if you want to follow me. I'm on the road to 200 subscribers. The email for the inquiries. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.